Alright, we're back today with another how-to video. Today I have a 95 Honda Accord, and this generation I always have a little issue with this right here. So this is the counterbalance shaft. These engines come with two of them, one in the front and one in the back. This front one, for some reason, after a while, it always either the seal that's underneath here, this little plate right here, always either back out if this backing plate right here isn't there, or it always start leak. So I'm actually find on this car said the balance shaft is actually whining and making all type of noise. So been reading a lot of stuff online, and they say there's a way you can actually delete them, because a lot of people have problem with it, either shake themselves loose, start the bears inside that hold them in place, they kind of wear out after a while, and then after that then basically slap all over the place inside of the timing cover, and which can lead to the belt actually snapping or breaking, and then interfering with your main timing belt right here. So another thing we see on a lot of the forums them also is that you can actually just remove the belt off of the two balance shafts. You have one here and then one at the bottom underneath down here. Can't really see it good. Let me try and touch it. This one right here at the bottom, this is the rear balance shaft, so you can take off the belt off of here, and the front balance shaft. So first thing first, of course, you have to basically put your car at top dead center, like you're going to redo the timing. Basically make sure everything line up. As you can see, the alignment mark for these engines is this look at that right back here, and this one right here. They have to basically line up. But in this video, I try look online and find some videos or images or whatever it is that show the people that already do the delete of the belt or the whole kit, where you actually can buy. You see a couple of them online where you can actually delete the two balance shafts them properly, but a lot of people say they just remove the belt off of it and it worked perfectly fine. I don't know how true this is, because as I said, there's no videos or real pictures of this engine. Again, this is a 95 Honda Accord, the F22b2 engine. The reason they have balance shafts, from what we can see, is to basically dampen some of the vibrations from the engine, since they said the Accord was the luxury version, or the nice comfort version of the Honda. They have these balance shafts on them, but when these balance shafts gives problem, as I said, they either push out this seal under here if this plate is not here. So then sell this plate separate when you do your timing kit, or then also sell a different kit that look like this. Basically you have your holder arm, then this small o-ring. I guess different model engine of this car used it, but mine though. And then you have the seal, and as you can see, you have a few cracks in it. So mine, it was old. Me have this car for a couple of years now, and it never been changed, so it is time. So time for change, because it was leaking. So again, you can pick this up at any local auto store, or you can maybe get this kit from for Amazon for actually about $6. So it's about the same at the local parts, so it might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less, depending on where and how much they have it for. But as me say, again, you want to come back over here. First thing first, you make sure say you do your timing, set everything on time before you start taking anything apart. Disconnect the battery, of course, because you don't want any type of local mishap, as you know, on these engines to do a timing job. So you have to take off your alternator, and you don't want to have that power wire loose, because then you can't touch any metal or so and start arcing and spark, and then you don't want that, because that can cause a lot of problem for you. So anyway, after you have everything on time, you make sure all of your marks line up properly. You want the up sign to be basically facing up, that tell us say your cam is on time. Then you want your two dots them to be matched up with the engine block, and then at the bottom, as you can see, the white line matches up down here with the little tick on the engine right there. So you want the gear tooth, and there's another mark on the front of this gear, but you want this white line to match up with this little dot on the engine block. So white line, or whatever color yours is, to the small dot right there on the engine block. So after you do all of that, since as me say, the problem me have is the seal was leaking, and also me getting some whining noise, and some noises that me hear other people have with this coming from the front balance shaft. So I'm going to try what they say, then just delete the belt and see how that work out. So I'm not advising that you do this, but I'm going to try it for myself. So I say I might as well make a video of how you look and how you turn out. So maybe if anybody else have this issue or want to try this, there's a local image or video out there, because I didn't find one. So hopefully this can help anybody that they look for one. So it was basically simple. You just remove the belt if you're going to delete or eliminate the balance shaft. So of course you have the tensioners right here. So what I'm gonna do, you loosen this nut right here, and then you loosen the nut right there, that one right down here, and it's a 12, and this one is a 14. So you loosen it, push this tensioner down, and it release tension off the belt, and then you kind of slide it off and out. So 12, 14 wrench, push down, and then slide the belt off and out. So just slide it off the gear and then pull it off. Or you can also push tension on this and then slide it off of this back balance shaft. So next thing next, if you ever have to replace the seal under here, as I say, buy the kit that comes with either this bracket or the one I showed you earlier in the video, this bracket. So back down here, to take off this gear right here, you're going to need a 14 socket or 14 wrench, whichever work for you. So basically 14 for the nut end of this, and then you want to rotate it as far as you can see this small hole right here, and you want to basically jam something inside of here. Jab something in here so you kind of hold it in place, and when you have a socket in here, you just break this loop, break it loose. Sorry, me mess up the right. So that's how I take that off. So once you take that off, you spin it loose. It's a going right out your hat, man. So once you take off this nut, again it's a 14, this gear comes right off. And like anything else in the timing case or so for any vehicle, they have these little keyways that basically they can only go onto the shaft or wherever you remove it from, only one way. So that's how you remove that. So after you remove that, what you want the next is these two bolts right here and right here. You want to remove them, and then right after that you have your seal. Taking off the seal, I usually find it's easier for me to just try and use a small flat point and kind of juke a hole in it, and then from that hole I try use like a little pick and just pull it out nice and easy, because you don't want to score the surface or anything like that, because then you might have a problem where you leak and you can't fix that. You would have to replace this whole front cover. So be real careful pulling off that seal. So once you finish with that, you just bolt back on everything in reverse. So to take off the gear off of the front balance shaft, again you need a 14 for the bolt, and then the gear comes right off. For the retainer, and that's the proper name for this balance shaft seal retainer, is 210s. And as I say, you either have this version or you have the version I show you earlier in the video. So now that I actually already replaced the seal, I was just demonstrating how to take it off if you need to. So after all this is done, I basically going bolt back on everything now. So as I said, I'm taking off the balance shaft belt to see basically what the engine do, because the engine is already, you have a lot of miles on it, and probably I'm going to have to end up changing it anyway. But I say I might as well just try something and see what it do, and make a video of it in case anybody was looking to try and do the, just taking off the belt and deleting the balance shafts that way, because these older version of the Honda, and even the new ones too, as I said, the Accords come with the balance shaft, but a lot of the Civics B series and so, they don't have the balance shafts. So I say, you know, maybe turn out good. A lot of people say they don't have no issues once they remove the belt. Some people say they have issues with the air pressure, because that rear balance shaft is attached somehow behind the timing, the front cover is attached to the oil pump. But as I say, a lot of people said they don't have no issues with it. So we're going to see what happened. But this is an image of what your timer would basically look like if you have a 9500 card. So I think this engine, the F22b2 engine, go from I think like 94 through 2000. So if you're going to remove the belt on these engines, the balance shaft belt, this is what you're going to look like. So basically you're going to have one belt which is on the cam and on the crank and the water pump. So this is what it looked like basically. So as I said, I'm going to bolt up everything and we're just going to see what happened. So this is how it looks. Let me give you a below picture of how it looks. So basically this is how it looks. That is the rear balance shaft. No belt is going to be put back on it. This is the gear that the balance shaft run on. I did put back everything as in to mark it up to make sure there's coverage for this, the space difference are, so you don't want anything loose or missing, because it is the timing. The only difference is you're not going to have the belt. And then also while me here, if you are timing to put on back the balance shaft, that little notch right there, you want it lining up at the back of the engine block. About that's on time right there if you're going to do it. And then you have a little notch. You can't really see it good from here, but there's a notch at the top of it that lines up to another notch at the top of the engine block. So let me see if I can go up here, get a good picture of it. What? Probably not. Okay, so anyway, this is the bottom end of what it's going to look like. As you can see, no balance shaft belt will be installed, so we're going to see what this turn out to be after I put back everything. So everything going to be bolted back on. The pulley for the balance shaft belt still going to put back on, because the 1 second, the arm right here that is attached, it goes over the pulley for the balance shaft, and it helps to hold everything in place. So I'm leaving the arm on. The spring that is connected back here, actually right here, I'm going to be removing that since it won't be needed. So everything is still there basically, just not the spring that goes in here and attaches to here, the belt, and that's it. So everything else will be going back on. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this brings some insight to one or two people. So until next time, check you later. Respect.